In this video, I want to take a look at debugging in a for loop. So let's use our debugger to go through this for loop and watch it run. So I am going to go over here on line 15 where my for loop begins, and I'm going to put a breakpoint. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to run the debug project. Make sure you do that. A lot of times people forget about that and they use the regular run project button and they wonder why their program's not being debugged. Make sure you run it with debug. So we're going to run that, and immediately we see our variables screen. If I go to output, it has the question, how many times should I greet you? I really need to answer that. So I'll say 3. And you can see that our next line now stops at the for loop, because that's where we said we wanted to start our, that's where we wanted to start our debugging. If I open up my variables window, I can see the value for times is down here. It's set to 3, or I can hover over the variable times. It's set to 3. If I hover over I can say it says I is not a known variable in the current context, because this line has not ran yet. So I has not been initialized. So let's go ahead and hit our step over button. And immediately we can check I has been initialized to 0, and it has done the test to see if I is less than time. So 0 is less than 3, so that was true, and it shows us the next line that we'll run was print line welcome to Java. So we'll hit step over. And if you look at your output console, you'll see it printed welcome to Java. Let's go back to our variables window. We can look, I is still set to 0, but as we execute this line, I became 1. 1 is still less than 3, because times is set to 3. So the next line that we'll run is this one. And we can hit step over, and it printed that out. And we can see I is set to 1. When I execute the line, I++ happens and sets I to 2. 2 is less than 3. So the line continues to run. Now this time back, I becomes not known because I went to 3. 3 was not less than 3, and the loop ended. And because the loop ended and I was declared inside the loop, I no longer exists. So we can't look at the value of I anymore. So the iteration variable ceases to exist once the loop finishes executing, and it has. So our program has ended. It has printed done, and it printed Java 3 times. So there we go. That is debugging on a for loop.